Hello, Vincent.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm well. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. Sorry, it's been a few weeks since our first session. I just needed a bit of time after that session because I was a little bit upset about how it ended. I don't need to say this before we continue. I just sort of felt like I wasn't happy with how it ended, like with the laughter about my mum. And I've just sort of decided that from this point on, I don't want my mum mentioned at all. So I won't be talking about my mother at all, if that's okay. I know that's probably quite a strange thing to ask, but I just don't want to go there.
Understandable. Now as a strict Freudian, you understand that's going to be very, very awkward, but we'll have to obviously work around that. Are you okay that we talk about your siblings, though?
Yes, that should be okay. Yeah, I just don't want to. Well, at this stage, I just don't want to talk about my mother, and that would be, I'd appreciate if you respected that.
No, that's fine. But you say at this stage, so you're leaving the door open to possibly discussing your mother at some future stage. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. I just sort of, I don't know. I just find it really painful, and but I'm a bit, she was a great woman. I really loved her, and she was really cool. But she died a long time ago, and it was just really annoying.
No, well, look, let's leave that in the past, and as you say, it's a long time ago. But listen, let's not dwell on that, and let's just move on, and let's. But before we can move on to the session and deal with things, let's deal with the sort of the preliminaries, if you like. There was a few things when I reviewed my notes that I wanted to cover off before we got into the session proper, and the one that concerned me in particular was the thing that we talked about was the risk of self-harm and in particular harm. And in the session that we had last week, there was the incident with the lasagna.
Yes, yep. Well, it happened again last night as well. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we can obviously get into that. But it's great that you mentioned that. But so what I wanted to just to make sure again is that and again just for the purpose of disclosure and to make sure that I'm covered as a therapist that there's no risk of being at risk of causing harm to yourself or others, because it did occur to me that there was some hostility being expressed towards your partner in that incident with the lasagna, where there was
Well, well, it was just an annoying moment, but I think the thing is that it sort of triggers. It's a trigger, and that's the thing I'm trying to work out. Why? Why does it trigger?
But I mean, obviously it's because of your mother, but we can't mention that. So it's
no.
I know. So this is going to be very awkward, right? So I know. It's how do we work around this? Well, can I offer a suggestion?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, now that we've sort of bridged the the preliminaries, and there's no risk of harm, and so there was no open hostilities, and there was no sort of risk.
No.
There were no sharp implements. There was knives and forks, obviously, but there was no. You weren't tempted to use them other than to eat the lasagna, right? With your partner.
Look, it's a very soft lasagna. It's got a lot of bechamel, and it just, it's your knife goes through very easily, so you don't need a sharp knife.
No, but I'm not referring to the softness of the lasagna. I'm referring to the softness of your partner and the implements that you have. But that's by the by. It's more. My concern is more to the to how you use those implements on your partner as opposed to how you use them on
yes, it was all good. It's just the awkwardness after eating, because I dwell on the fact of the portion size, and I know what you're saying. It's not actually about the portion size; it's about something else. But that's all I think about.
Right. So Vincent. So let me throw a curveball, if I may, and may I?
Yes.
Sam, be quiet. Sorry. Sorry. That's my best friend, Sam. So the way that you've described your relationship with your partner, there's just a hint of what in my studies, and if I may just kind of delve a little bit into that, there's a thing that I've learned something a little about, which is known as sibling rivalry.
Yes.
I think when we first met, when we first discussed, I think you have siblings or a sibling, and
yes.
and can I ask your I think it's a sibling. Is your sibling, is it I can't remember, is it a masculine or a feminine sibling?
I have one masculine and two feminine
siblings.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and I'm the elder, and so then I have two sisters, and then I have one brother.
Oh no, we don't discuss genders, because genders are gender is no.
I have two.
We de-gender. We're
okay. Well, how do I say that then?
Just
two ladies.
No, just no.
Two feminine and one masculine.
Yes. Two feminine, right? Two feminine and one masculine. And where on that spectrum would you place your partner in terms of how you relate to her in the context of this conflict with the lasagna?
Definitely feminine.
Feminine, right. And so going back to your sort of childhood experiences in
yes.
And again without mentioning your mother, which I apologise, I just did, but let's pretend I didn't.
Yes. What? Where? So where would I? What? What was the question?
When you were growing up and the pieces were being portioned out and they were of different sizes.
Yes. Yes, I know. I know what you mean. I think my dad always got the biggest portion.
And that was the masculine.
Yes.
Right. I see.
And then after that, it was quite even.
I see.
I would say.
I see. So
but smaller.
So the masculine So the masculine, so in your upbringing, in what you're used to in your development,
Yes.
and I'll come to development theory, which is something I've also learned quite a bit about, which I'll share with you. In your development, what you're accustomed to is that the masculine would get the bigger portion, and the feminine would get the smaller portion, or the equal but smaller portions, or the it's interesting that you say that, but then your dad was the masculine, but then everyone else was the masculine, feminine. But how would you describe then what would be the others? If your dad was the masculine, everyone else would be something else.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Because my dad was a worker, so he was a physical worker.
Oh, right.
So he needed more food because he worked physically.
I see.
And I remember I don't want to talk about. I remember someone in the family talking about how when they grew up, their mother would go without food to feed the family because they were migrants.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I see, and right. And so, but in the context of the masculine and the feminine, so what I'm sensing, and this is, I guess, what I was sort of wanting to ask the question is Sam. This is where I was wanting to ask the question. It sounds to me, from what you said, is your father being obviously masculine, I imagine.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Well, having the bigger portion, and then you finding yourself in a situation, last week or a few weeks ago, and again just recently, as you said just earlier, finding the smaller portion with your partner, who you say is feminine, where therefore you being masculine, obviously is a source of anxiety.
Yeah.
Which,
I find.
Yeah, and so that's yeah. I mean, no wonder you're feeling this anxiety, because this, and I just don't see how this can go on. I just think, it all comes back to lasagna, and I just think, a very simple solution, I would have thought, and it's not really for me to give you these solutions, but a very simple solution would be just to, at the last minute, just to switch the plates. Just have you thought of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd sometimes do that. But it's just it's having like something happen. Sometimes I'll sort of I'll make a fuss, or I'll do something, draw attention away from the plate.
To distract her, yeah.
Yes.
Do that.
Look
over there.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'll bring the plate over. I'll say, oh, look at that. Gee, the lemons are growing well, or what, whatever it is. And then I switch the plate.
So you bring the plates over. So you're the one who delivers the larger portion. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, Vincent, we need to delve into this. So you're the one who delivers the bigger portion to your partner.
Sometimes I've found that I've done that, and then I have to work out a way to get it back.
Okay. So Vincent, have you heard of the concept of self-sabotage?
No. Is that a sexual thing, or?
Well, it can be. It can be. It's sort of in a sexual context. It manifests itself in, it's sort of it's like if you without wanting to be too explicit, if if you think about an orgasm too much, it goes away. Like, for example, like without wanting to, that's just one example. I can think of many others.
Okay, no, I've never self-sabotaged myself in that way.
Well, it sounds to me like you bringing the bigger portion of the lasagna to your partner is an example of self-sabotage. Clearly, because then you feel anxious about your partner having the bigger portion of your dead mum's. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Of lasagna that you feel very very strong, and then you have this anxiety about and you keep bringing it up that this is it's happened over and over again, obviously, and I suspect this is not the second time it's happened, because it's something that preys on your mind by the sounds of things.
Yeah. Well, so what am I supposed to do? Not do that?
That would be a simple. I mean, not bringing the bigger portion. Well, having even portions could be one solution. I don't know. Does that ever occurred to you as a
weigh them out or something?
Well, yeah, or give yourself the bigger portion. Yeah.
I was thinking of just chopping it up, and then you chop it up, and then you just spread it out, and you don't know which was the bigger portion. Well, it's just all a mush.
That's it. Or go into sort of cube it up, or just mush it, just turn it into like a, or do you know what? Just don't do lasagna. Go pasta, and then it's really hard to tell, what's bigger and what's smaller. Just don't do lasagna. Then it's harder to tell. But listen, let's move on, because I think it feels to me like we've done lasagna to death, and maybe you can find a solution. I think we've come up with a few options there, and you can maybe work with that, with those. But let's maybe talk about come back to your childhood, because it sounds like you had some. You had siblings. You had was it two feminine siblings and one masculine sibling?
Yes.
So you had a fairly even split.
Yes.
Now there's interesting, and you had a father figure and someone who we can't mention. All right, and now there's a concept which I've been learning in my studies, which I find quite interesting. I don't know if you've heard of this. There's this concept of special needs as it applies to children. Special needs, which is people, children with needs, attention, I don't know, wheelchairs and feeding, constant, things like that, cripples, like really awful things, but there's this new categorization which people are starting to get attuned to, which is also very important, which is retrospective but really I think very relevant, which is the concept of special wants children.
Right.
And I'm wondering, just based on what you've described, given where you're placed in the hierarchy of children, because you said you were, where did you say you were placed in the?
I was the oldest.
You were the oldest. Yes, exactly. And this applies particularly to the eldest, in fact. Because the eldest, they tend to, everyone always thinks that they are, self-sufficient and, very but in fact, while there's a lot of, expectations placed on them, what in fact is going on inside, the eldest is that they, with all these expectations, that they're feeling these, that everything is happening to those behind them, because they. And so there's this kind of this thing, and I totally I believe it's true, and this and it sounds to me, and this category of, it sounds to me like you may have been a special wants child. Now, how do you feel about being classified as a special wants child?
Well, I didn't I never thought about it. It's just like...
Yeah, well, it didn't exist at the time, this is the thing. But the interesting thing is, and this is what's coming through at the moment, is that there's a big movement at the moment for recognising that there was such a thing as special wants children, to accept that those special wants children have grown up, and to then accept that they have, once they've grown up, that they have become special wants adults, and I'm actually taking part in a study, and I would like to put you forward in a study.
But what do I want? What am I wanting? I don't get what I want. I don't need anything.
Well, no, it's not needs. It's wants. So I would, based on our conversations, I would classify you as a special wants adult. You have special. You have, in my view, in my semi-professional opinion, you have special wants.
Okay. And then, do I get them, or what happens when you get them?
Well, I'm not saying I would be willing to put you forward in this study as a special wants adult, and it's just a study. There's no guarantee. Just because you want something, you don't get it. It's just you just.
But if it's a special want, what's the point of having the special want if you don't get it? I'm confused.
It's just,
I'll be part of the study. That's all right.
I'll put you down. I'll send you all the details, and that's great. Thank you, Vincent. It's really great. I'm really glad. So we'll. But listen, why don't we pick things up next time? Hopefully next week. We need to keep this regular. We need to keep the momentum up. So let's do that. Can
I ask a question?
Of course, yes.
Can we continue without mentioning she that cannot be named?
In she that cannot be named in that way?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Well then, okay. Well, I feel like we didn't do anything today.
Well, the thing with well, I'm sorry you feel that way. The thing with therapy, yes, is it's not always a tangible, thing. It's not
right.
It's not like an operation. It's not like having an appendix removed, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's a long process.
Very much, and often painful.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Well, do I book in? Do you have a booking system?
Yes. I mean, just drop me a line, and same time next week. Yes.
Yep. That should be good. Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Vincent.
Bye.
Bye.